Welcome to Locating Market Research Reports. The Gazetta Business Library licenses several databases that contain the full text of market research reports across many industries and sectors. In a market research report, you can expect to identify an industry's market size and market share, current and future trends, and market, customer, and geographic segmentations. You will also understand the competitive landscape, including a Porter 5 Forces analysis and competitor profiles. In this recording, I'm going to focus on EMIS, the GBL's largest collection of licensed market research reports. So let's go ahead and get into EMIS. All right, so I want to locate reports on the electric vehicle market. So I'm just going to type my keywords at the top search bar. So I'm going to type electric vehicles or EV. Once the results display, I'm clicking reports. Then I'm going to use the filters on the left to narrow down those returned results. First, I'm going to go to topics and select industry and apply filters. Then I'm going to go to country and region, and I'm going to select global coverage. Now, the benefit of selecting global coverage reports is that they will contain a geographic segmentation section that includes insights and data for the countries that dominate in this space. The data is standardized across countries, so you can compare apples to apples. However, you can also choose to search just the US or other countries for a deeper dive. I'm going to select global coverage and apply filters. Lastly, you'll notice on the left that the default for the publication dates is the last 12 months. However, you do have an option of changing that. So now that the filtered results are displayed, I want to point out a few things. First of all, you'll see reports from many different publishers. We have Frost & Sullivan, Technavio, BIS, GVR, and more. EMIS licenses a very large number of credible sources of market research reports, so you can be comfortable using any of them. I also want to show you the variation in the sizes of the reports. Here's a report that's 74 pages, 89, 220, 123. 46 pages. So there's a lot of variation, but there are many, many reports that are 200 plus pages. And in many instances, those are going to be the reports that you're going to want to look at. Lastly, I want you to notice that you do get forecasted data, and usually you can see that from the title. So here's a report that forecasts from 2025 to 2034. From 2025 to 2029. Here's one to 2030. Market research reports are one of the very few industry sources which include projections. So this is one of the many reasons that these reports are going to be so useful to you. So let me go ahead and open one of the reports. I'm going to look at the report on global electric vehicles market 2025 to 2029. All right. In a market research report, you can expect a very detailed and logically organized table of contents. We recommend that you take some time as a team to scan the table of contents. It will give you a good idea of the type of information and data you can expect to find. And if your team adopts a divide and conquer research strategy, which most teams do, you will find that the table of contents will help you to efficiently navigate these very long and robust reports. So let me take a minute and walk you through all the sections of the report. You have an executive summary, a market landscape section that includes a value chain analysis, market size, and a Porter Five Forces analysis section. Market segmentation, the customer landscape, and geographic segmentations. Remember, I had mentioned earlier that with the global coverage, you'll actually be able to locate data across many countries. There's also a section on market drivers and challenges and the competitive landscape, which includes disruptors. Then you have a very large section on competitive analysis, and this is oftentimes called the company profile section. And you'll notice that for each of the companies, you also have a SWOT analysis. And finally, the appendix. And the appendix includes a research methodology section. This will be very useful for you to understand the analyst research methods and also definitions of terminology that are used throughout the report. Before leaving EMIS, I'm just going to scroll down a bit into the report so you can get a feel for what it looks like. There's going to be a lot of data visualization, a lot of graphs, tables, and charts. But as you get into the report, there are also sections that are going to be very text-rich. Okay. In addition to EMIS, depending on your industry, there are some additional market research databases which we license that might be of interest to you. You have access to a number of Global Data's industry intelligence centers. Currently, we subscribe to consumer goods, food service, media, sports and entertainment, medical devices, and pharma. These include global market research reports, deals analysis, analyst insights, case studies, social media analytics, and more. We also license Mintel. Mintel's reports explore U.S. consumer goods and services. In addition to examining market size and drivers, these reports feature in-depth consumer demographic and psychographic data and insights, including raw data from consumer surveys. I also wanted to mention market research report executive summaries. Unfortunately, GBL is unable to license every market research report that is published. And so there will be times when you will not be able to find reports on your industry in one of our databases. As an alternative, we recommend using Google to locate executive summaries of the reports. Market research publishers post free summaries of their reports on the internet, and they include some key insights and data, which can still be very useful. You're going to use this particular Google search strategy to locate these executive summaries. You're going to type your industry and the word industry or market and the words size or share or segmentation or CAGR. This search strategy will successfully tell Google that what you are asking it to return to you are these executive summaries. So let's jump into Google and see what the results look like. So here's the search for the electric vehicles market that I mentioned, and let's run that search. And looking at the results, I can immediately tell that the search worked. We have results from Grandview Research, Markets and Markets, Fortune Business Insights, iMark Group. These are all market research firms. So all of these are returning those executive summaries. So let's just go ahead and open one. So this one happens to be a US specific report. Again, you can see the forecasted data, and you get a summary. There's going to be some text that's going to include some insights and data You are also going to get some graphs and charts and tables. You'll see the table of contents, some segmentation information, an infographic with some additional data and their methodology. After you run your search and you get your results, the first thing you're going to do is look through those web results and look at those executive summaries. But there's one additional thing you want to do before you get out of Google, and that's to click right here below the search box on images. What this is going to do is it's going to essentially dive you into reports and presentations that are on the internet and give you a chance to identify some additional charts and graphs and tables that might be useful for you. This is a great strategy, and we recommend that you use this. So the last thing that I want to remind you is that the Cosweta Business Librarians are available to support all of your course projects throughout the semester. Reach out to us to schedule a consultation that's targeted for your research. Just email gbsaskalibrarian@emory.edu, tell us about your project, and include 4 to 5 dates and times that you would like to meet with us. We look forward to working with you.